'Cause you niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Media popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Everybody, it's your boy Brandon Collins.
Guys, and it's Justin Brown.
And we're here with a special edition of Media Popcorn Niggas Spoiling Movies. Tell what we're doing today, Justin.
We are actually going to be talking about a short film that a good friend of ours, Mr. Chauncey Johnson, made. Chauncey, talk to the people.
I'm your boy Chauncey Johnson. I made a short film called And Then There Was Damien. The movie is roughly like 9 minutes long, so that is pretty good short. Pretty good short.
Short.
Good short movie, yeah.
So well, when the movie first started, the first thing I saw was just like a woman tied up and just her titties just popping out of her shirt. I was just like, oh, this is titties in a mask.
Yeah, and in the dark room, I was like, oh, this is my kind of tea. Watching Hannibal a lot. I was like, how did Chauncey know?
We kind of had like a red little tint to it. I'm like, oh, we in the red light district right now. This is right up my alley. And then we went somewhere completely different.
Yeah, exactly, man. Actually, it's interesting, man, because the girl who played the victim is like one of my producing partners. So she like helps me like put stuff together sometimes, man. And originally, man, we wanted to get like really crazy and just have her like really bloody and have all like this blood all over her shirt and stuff, man. And she wasn't supposed to actually wear that shirt. That shirt that she was wearing was supposed to be like actually was for somebody else. She was supposed to wear like I think the shirt was like blue or something like that, but like because we didn't want to do the blood, so she was gonna switch to the blue shirt. And she just kept the red shirt on, man, the white shirt on, and the boys was out there, man. Them boys was up there like, what's up? I'm a victim.
You know what? The funny thing about it is, I thought it was like, the shirt accentuated the red hue that we put on it, which helped with it. But you went right to it's like, no, them titties just started bouncing, baby. Yeah, that's why you belong in this podcast right now.
I mean, because we can't just objectify the woman, we got to objectify the men too. You had the brother who I believe is Damien, dressed up in the dope black suit, looking fresh as hell.
Yeah, my man Paul.
Yeah.
Paul. So I
Good
know a lot
Paul.
of the people that are actually in this film. I've either worked with them in the past and things like that. So
how did the idea come together, Chauncey? Like
how did it come
from,
together?
like, inception to execution of the short film?
All right, so Revolt TV had a short film competition that was something where you're supposed to blend hip hop and some social issue. So if you could blend the two together, they would have, that's what the competition was about. So we just, I was sitting around one day, just like throwing around ideas and stuff. And then this DMX song came on and I was like, yo, wait a minute. DMX had a song about a guy named Damien. Oh, snap, let me make something up. Let me put something together off of that. And then the whole mental health issue came up. So that was like, and that was big. Like last year, everybody was talking about doing like mental health and taking care of themselves and stuff. So I was like, let me put the two of these together. And that's pretty much how I came up with it. And honestly, man, I came up with that in like a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I came up with it in a week, and then I did like maybe 6 or 7 rewrites to it before I actually started filming it.
Okay. I mean,
so,
that's a great, timeline. Like where you were able to knock this out in less than 2 months. I mean, that it's crazy. Like we talk a lot about it on the show. People have the fear of just doing anything, and the fact that you took this idea and create a film and just have something to show, you're already so far beyond other people that wish they could go that far. And that's like, I always want to take a moment to commend you as a filmmaker and storyteller, because that's not always easy just to get to that point.
Right. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, a lot of people they talk about doing stuff and then they just don't actually do it. And I swear to God, man, some of those movies that were in that competition, we lost. We didn't get in, but the movies that actually won, they were fucking terrible, man. Terrible movies, yo. Oh my God.
So
One movie was a long ass rap video, but go ahead.
well, do you think it was because people they didn't understand the hip hop connection to it?
Man, you know what? I honestly I don't know what it was, man, because our project looked better than everyone else's. It sounded better than everyone else's, and it just played better than everyone else's that I seen at one. It was like it was 10 movies at one, and I watched all of them, and I just could not believe the projects that they picked. It was like maybe two of them that I think gave us a little bit of competition, but I mean, I swear to God, man, one was a music video, and the entire video is just these kids running. And the song was called Running. And the hook was just called Running. Like running, 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 running. I was like, what the fuck is this? And and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And then the last one that won, and it was about 20 minutes long. It was I think it may have been shot on like a DSLR or something like that. I actually used a cinema camera for mine, and this person made this movie about they broke into this guy's house and they was going to steal something. Didn't happen, but the guy offered them a record contract, and then he brought them onto his house and they killed him, and he killed all of them.
Wait, what? Wait, so they broke into the dude's house, and then he's like, "Hey, man, I know you broke in my house, but here's a record deal." He's like, "Why don't y'all come on in and let's talk about it?"
Leprechaun the Hood. So what
yeah, this is true.
So that was like literally that. That was a remake of Leprechaun in the Hood for real. In 20 minutes of my life gone.
That's pretty ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. I gotta say, one thing that gave me a kind of authentic, kind of crazy in the film was when we first saw Karen and her hair being messed up like that, man. That was authentic black. I haven't seen crazy hair like that since the crazy lady on Steinway. I walked into her yelling at a pigeon. She's having an argument with a pigeon. Her hair was just like that. That was Karen's hair was all over the place.
That's
like,
real method acting with the hair.
Yeah, man. You know what? When I first met her, I thought it was a wig. It was her hair, man, and she just she just did whatever she was going to do with her hair. And I was like, okay, do your thing, because I actually didn't think about her hair at the time, man. When I cast her, when I was putting her look together, I didn't think about her hair. I just thought about how like crazy her face is supposed to look, and that and the hair things happened, and I was like, all right, look like you was mad at somebody, and then they need to get some Kool-Aid or something, and they didn't get it. I don't know, man.
Okay, here's a question. So there's a point where well, obviously we're kind of going back and forth what's going on here, because actually the movie goes back and forth between Karen and Damien basically setting up for this murder, or Damien talking Karen into a murder, and then a police officer played by yourself and like a psychologist, walking to the room and them kind of having dialogue back and forth about the case that you're working on and such. But there's a point where the psychologist says like all of her reproductive organs were removed. I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that reminded me of that movie Acrimony. I was like, oh shit. When that happens, women go crazy.
Yo, that's funny, man, because I sat back and I thought about that. I was like, is this too Tyler Perry like, or what's happening here, man? But I wanted to the thing was I wanted to make her how crazy she is, because you got crazy women who just can't have kids, and they will go and steal your child out of the hospital or something like that. And we were just trying to figure out ways on how to do that. And I think my wife, she's been watching a show called The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking, had I watched that show and found out about that type of situation that we're living in, I probably could have made that scene a little differently. But I also didn't really get the opportunity to really expand on it, because it's only like 9 minutes. So I didn't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, it was a Tyler Perry moment for me when I was writing it up, because I was like, man, what am I doing, man?
What was the most challenging part about this whole process? Was it pre-production, production, writing it, post-production? Just from your standpoint, what did you find most challenging?
And I think it's pretty common with most low budget films, and the most common challenging thing is always location, finding a location.
Yeah.
And finding the location for the detective and the doctor scene was probably the most challenging thing, because at one point I was like, I'm just gonna change it to them sitting outside on a park bench or something, because like I couldn't find an office. I couldn't find like my building that I live in now. They wouldn't let me film in the like the laundry room hallway that actually had the better look, because it looked more like a. If you remember the movie, I want to say it was Planet Terror from Quentin Robert Rodriguez, and little Death Proof Grindhouse thing that he did.
Yeah.
And there was a hospital scene where actually no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. The scene that I was talking about, but there's the same hospital, but the scene I'm talking about is the cop or the two cops in Death Proof, and they're walking down that hallway, and they're walking to Kurt Russell's character because he just killed those kids, and they're having that long conversation walking down the hallway, and it looked really creepy. That's how the hallway to the laundry room in my building looked, and I was like, that's the scene that's how I envisioned the whole thing. So it was supposed to be like this one long walk to this hallway was that scene, but instead, man, I mean, last minute somebody came through and was like, come and film this at WeWork, and I was like, all right, cool, thanks, man, but it just was challenging finding the different locations or finding like that creepy long hallway. So we had to do it in like different areas to make it look like more of a longer journey to get to this person.
It's funny because you're better than me, because I was just filmed in the hallway, not asked anybody, but that's because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, and also people like to stay where they are, Justin. You be the kind of motherfucker that gets evicted because you violated the rules and shit.
So what? So what?
You just never go to Paul and be like, hey, baby, all right, I want to start this off by telling you everything's going to be okay. But we're going to have to move out in 2 weeks.
But we'll still be together, though, baby. We'll still be together. But
we still got love.
So what's the plans for this film beyond, just the film festival that you submitted to?
So, man, one of the things that came out of it was the idea of turning it into like a little mini series, like a 6-part mini series or something like that. And right now, the movie is actually in 2 film festivals. I'm in the New York Liftoff Film Festival, and I'm also in the Global Liftoff Film Festival that takes place out in the UK. And I've just been circling it around, and I think the idea that's more appealing to me is turning it into like a little 6-part mini series or something like that.
Okay, so for this mini series, will we be following Damien kind of popping up in other people? Is it going to be like, or maybe just I'm getting a little too far ahead of this?
I mean, you might be getting a little too far ahead right now, man. But I think I'm going to focus on like a murder that happens, and maybe these 2 cops need to figure out what happened and how this happened, and they catch this person, and she's talking about Damien, and they're trying to actually arrest this Damien person, trying to find him and arrest him. I think I want to try and focus on going in that direction. I'm not sure yet, though.
I mean, the plus side is you can go in a bunch of different directions. You could even go in all the directions and have every episode be kind of its final episode that all accumulates into, the season finale, so to speak, or something like that.
Yeah. One thing too that came across my mind was that there's a show on HBO. I think it's called Room 114. Yeah. And every episode is a new episode, completely different, and they're not related to each other. And that's one of the things that kind of like came to my mind too, to do that, maybe something like that. So that could be a different idea,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. So when did you film this?
We filmed it last year in September.
Okay, because you
A
know
little bit.
parts of it, I was just like, oh man, if this was filmed like recently, oh man, Chauncey's just acting out some real COVID murder thoughts that he has in his head. Like, I don't know what's going on. Chauncey, we need to, jump in there for an intervention. Take you to somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure, man, like, somebody's in like a crazy relationship right now and probably like just murdered their spouse and was like, you know what? I had nowhere else to go, so I had to do it. And they'll probably
Yeah,
get off, man.
yeah. Damien told me to do it.
Damien told me to do it.
So, we end off with, obviously a suicide. Or what's that?
How's that obvious?
Well, I mean, she was
suicide. Like no one.
Well, I mean, she was kind of locked up. She was, locked up in a place. They're talking about this woman who they have, and then you're walking. They're walking to the room, open it up, and there's a body. So, I mean, I think it leads to a suicide.
Well, yes, but you're implying that like it was going to be like a natural progression that they were going to go to that room.
No. I'm talking about brass tacks.
At my job, I've been doing a lot of correcting of phrasing, how people phrase things. And so when they say obvious, I'm like, you can't say that all the time because now everyone's going to be like, yeah, I knew that was coming. I'm just getting on your ass, Justin.
See, this. See, Chauncey, this is exactly why. So now then we saw, Damien, and then you saw the woman go walking past. In my interpretation, Brandon, that's kind of like, whether it's spirit, soul, or whatever passing through, leaving. So like, is my interpretation even in the right realm, or did you leave it up to that interpretation and let it like figure out what's going on?
Well, I mean, I think you're in the right ballpark. You're there, But yeah, it's a suicide. It's meant to look like a suicide, but it's really Damien collecting that soul. So like he, honestly, what I wanted to do at first was have Damien just stand in a corner and let her, and we see her just, like slit her wrist or slit her throat or something like that. But it was just, I just at the time I didn't have enough blood to do that, to make that happen, and we didn't have the right room to do it either. But so I was like, let me just leave some things up to the audience mind of how she's died. And so if your idea is that she killed herself, yeah, or did Damien get her to kill herself? Yeah, either way it goes, she's dead.
She downstairs.
Yeah, and him downstairs too.
Well, him lived downstairs.
Yeah, him lived downstairs. Now she downstairs with him. I actually I think Paul's personification of this character was just it was very well done, because he was very subtle. He didn't do anything. I mean, I think the most like maleficent thing that he did was that stare at the end of the film, because he was very even throughout most of it. Well, and then there was another point where his actual voice kind of changed and went a little deeper. But I think he played it very well, especially when a friend of Rob, when he was a police officer about to be murdered, in and out of looking outside of the door, and all of a sudden he's behind him. And I think that was a pretty good shot how you guys pulled that off.
That was actually really fun, man. And when we shot it, like maybe 4 or 5 takes of it, and each time, man, we were like, "Oh shit, man, Paul, you did your thing right there. That's fucking crazy." But yeah, man, having Rob play one of the police officers, it was actually because I think at first the idea was to shoot everything from behind and see everything from behind of a Rob character, and then just have Damien just appear. But then the idea came to us when we were actually shooting at the location, and like just have him come out the door and let's shoot it from that angle, and then have Damien just appear behind him somehow. And and it worked out well, man. That's one shot that I'm actually really proud of, the way that worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely be proud of like yourself and like what this, the project became like, because it can go in a bunch of different directions. For like the editing, what was like the most challenging part? Because a lot of people don't understand with filmmaking, a lot of your work is actually in post production where you're putting it all together and
Yeah.
trying to make the story make sense. So, what was the most challenging part of that for you?
Man, I think the most challenging part was probably cutting out certain things that I was like, man, this you delivered this line so well, but I gotta cut it out. It's just, it's just gotta go. And I think like that was probably challenging, but the easiest part for me was actually the coloring, because I shot it the way I wanted it to look. So with color wise, so that's why it was so easy to do. The coloring was just easier for me. And then even with the doctor and detective scenes, even if we were in a darker place, I was trying to make it seem like every scene you see with the doctor and detective, it gets darker and darker, because like now they went from like this bright, uh not airy, but like this brighter looking room hallway to like this darker hallway, and then they go to this room where it almost seems like they're it almost seemed like there's some hope. I wanted to make that room feel like you about to get some hope to see this caring person. But then you go into this staircase, and it looks greenish, and it's like, what the hell? Where are we going now? Because it went from looking like, yeah, we're in a nice hospital, to like, holy shit, they're in this green dark staircase. And then you get to them finally walking to this nice looking room with double doors or whatever, and here it is this Karen chick dead. And it just the effect that I wanted was just for it to, even once it got to that point, to be darker, but I just couldn't make it darker because the lighting in that actual room and the reflection, like it was some weird like reflection of the cameraman like right there. So I couldn't make it
Hmm.
as dark as I want, because like it brought out that reflection for whatever reason. But that was yeah, that was probably the easiest part, and the challenging thing was like just like what I said, man. It's just getting
Learn
getting
this,
yeah,
making those cuts and things like that, and getting exactly how you wanted it. Yeah, because the idea that we have in our head is typically not as as fleshed out as what we're actually, well, what you're going to actually see on screen. I
right,
mean, you hope you
right,
could get it there.
yeah. I mean, like you know, I think, well, for me sometimes, man, it's like when you Paul had a scene where he delivered a line so well, and it's actually really good the way he did his line, but I had to cut it because it was just not for the sake of time either. It's just it felt unnecessary. It just felt like he
Mm,
didn't need to have it. Even like the scene where the doctor and the detective was talking in that room with the windows. I cut that scene almost in half because there was so much stuff that it just wasn't necessary anymore. Like you just didn't really need it after that, after
gotcha.
certain pieces of dialogue.
Hmm. Okay. So right now, this, like you said earlier, this film is part of a film series, well, a festival. It's like
Mhm.
a contest type deal, correct?
Yeah, well, the contest really is like, if you go, you buy the ticket, you watch it online, you get to watch these movies. It's like over 120 movies for the month, and it's only $10. You pay that one time, and you can vote for these films, and whatever films get the higher votes, they'll just be showed in the UK. But
Okay.
apparently, my film already got in the UK one, so I'm kind of like, okay,
Yeah. What does it matter?
I'm already here now.
Are you gonna go for the premiere?
I mean, if we can, man, unfortunately, the United States of America that we live in is it's not very kind right now to letting people leave to go to Europe, and Europe isn't very kind to having us come over there yet.
When is when's the showing in the UK?
I believe it'll be sometime next month, sometime in August.
Okay.
I will get the actual final dates later this month, but it should be sometime in August.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, congratulations for getting your film,
Thank
in the UK. I mean, that's, I mean, that's what you want. You want people to see your work and,
Yeah.
and getting it out there. And, for one, as, a Black artist, doing things, you got 100% support, by us, and hopefully more support, from our community, so we can keep, pushing our stuff forward, because, typically you don't see films dealing with, mental illness, especially in the Black community, because, it's something that's not really seen as real for
Yeah.
us. Yeah. And especially Black women. They,
Right.
yeah. So it was, I think it was something good to highlight, that, again, is kind of overlooked.
Yeah.
And speaking of
Yeah.
accent, oh, sorry, Chauncey.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, like, how could people sign up to watch your film and the other things you were talking about?
So you can go to my productions company Facebook page, Alpha Stellar Productions, and I have the link on there. It has the Liftoff Festival. It has the actual link that you can actually go to, push that link, and pay the $10, man, and watch these movies. And I post everything on like all across all my social media. So it's Alpha Stellar Productions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then you can also find it on my personal Facebook page, Chauncey Johnson, or you can find it on my Instagram, which is I am Chauncey 313 on Instagram.
Cool. So I think, I think that's it. I'm like, Chauncey, thank you for coming on. Thanks for talking, about, what you got going on, what's, the future, hopefully, this thing takes off, gets, runs into the series. Brandon, you want to throw out your tags?
Oh, sure. You can follow me at American Collins, AmericanCollins.com. I did want to ask Chauncey one more question, though, like, because you mentioned expanding this into a mini series, but is there another idea that you're kind of brewing with that you might put out before that, or after that you got percolating in your head?
Dealing with this particular project or with
No, just
something
in
else?
general, like another film project.
So like right now, I'm actually writing a full feature about race and about racism within mixed couple relationships. And right now, man, it's basically about these two people, a Black guy and a white girl. They're best friends growing up, and like this white girl now in a relationship with this white guy who you think is racist, or we may not know is racist, or we just adamantly think is racist. He is the most racist piece of shit on the planet right now. And it's kind of like a story about how we maybe overreact, maybe underreact to some of these things, or like I like to call them the missed opportunities to educate a person, because sometimes like I think sometimes we use the opportunities to educate someone the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what was the situation that happened in Michigan with the white lady put out the gun on that Black family?
Yeah.
That was everything is in that situation is probably on both of them, but like she tried to she kept the Black woman kind of kept escalating, and this white woman just trying to get away or whatever. And it's one of those situations where you can just let go, but like we was trying to make it a teachable moment for white people, and I'm like, man, it's actually more like a teachable moment for people that got guns and shit, because these motherfuckers, this lady just put out a fucking gun because y'all had a crazy argument, right? And it's just like that shit is crazy, man. Like, okay, now you feel threatened because this lady's just screaming and yelling at you, and that's it. Now you got to pull out your gun, whatever, lady. But it's one of those moments. And then, not saying we didn't, but like let's just say we had pushed the George Floyd situation to the side and then make a big uproar about it. That's one of those moments where sometimes I think we miss those type of moments, not as a whole community, but just individually as people. Like sometimes you just miss that opportunity, man, where you take it the wrong. Well, sometimes you go down the wrong way to educate somebody, and then vice versa, whatever.
It spawns
that's what
into
this
something
project,
you necessarily mean.
yeah, and that's what this project kind of like goes into. And I'm pretty much done with the first draft and about to do like a table read, see where it goes, and hopefully, man, maybe make the movie myself or sell it. I don't know, man, but hopefully something great comes out of it. And yeah, that's gonna be something that I hope I get together real soon. I got another mini series called The Monastery that I'm actually writing up right now. That's kind of in the realms of Damien, but that one's gonna be kind of crazy because I wrote a scene for that, and that was interesting. It's about I guess I think I wrote something where it's about a ghost that's following somebody, or maybe it's a ghost that just lives in this monastery. I don't know, man.
Okay,
we'll find out. We'll find
Chauncey
out.
working. I love it.
When you're in quarantine, man, it's only so much you can do when your child is sleeping. You see all the kid toys and stuff right there, right? Man, watching Sesame Street 300 times a day, man, and then at some point you gotta just start writing some crazy shit, man.
You gotta go dark. You gotta go dark. You gotta go dark, man. I get it. And just so you know, Brandon and everybody else listening, that's Jackson's future girlfriend. So everybody, just watch out. Stay away from Chauncey's daughter, because Jackson already stake claim.
There will be no Johnsons and Browns family
fraternizations.
That's not happening.
I don't know, because when we were at that birthday party, Jackson would say he was giving her the Google eye. She was just like, "Okay, I see you, little Jackson. I see."
Yeah, right. And then at his own birthday party, he was like, "You know what? I'm just trying to play it crazy and cool and not pay any attention." Right.
That's the game, baby. That's the game. I taught my son well.
Justin, how can people follow you, man?
Guys, you can follow me at Jay Brown Did It on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the show at Medium P Podcast, Twitter and Instagram as well. Brandon, tell them about the Patreon.
What?
Patreon, the Pate.
Oh, yeah, you guys can follow support the show at patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. You got hundreds of bonus of hours of extra content. Get on that. But most importantly, because of this episode, follow Chauncey, look at the stuff that he's doing, really check out all of the projects that he's got going on over there.
Indeed. Support Black artists.
Exactly, man. I mean, support good Black artists. You don't have to support JoJo down the street that's making a movie about, prostitutes being, I don't know, but whatever.
Prostitutes
man,
deserving it.
Right. You get what you deserve, and you got it. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny if I can, man. I want to just bring this up real quick. I got a homie that I went to high school with that made a movie, and it's not good. and suddenly that type of movie is all over Amazon Prime, and I'm like, damn, bro, this movie ain't that good, man. But whatever, you did your thing.
Hey man, you used to call out your homie like that.
Yep. That's right.
There she is. Don't make me bring Jackson in here, man.
Hey man, she's here, man. She's like, Jackson, who is that guy?
All right, Chauncey, I'm gonna let you go, brother. Brandon,
all right.
See you guys later.
Thank you, Chauncey.
Peace.
All right, man. Thank you guys, man, and look forward to you guys doing this again, man.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well we're gonna spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.